Hello there, it's Simone. I'm here with my currently inked for the month of November. I have 10 pens inked. 5 of them are just inked and 5 of them I'm carrying over from October. Not all of them have been inked with the ink that's currently inside from the beginning of the month, and so because there's a lot of ink left and or because I just enjoy writing with the ink and the pen, I decided to move them over. And it's just really nice to already know some of the pen and inks that I have every month. So 5 new additions gives me a lot of room to explore some of the pens that I'm carrying over more deeply, and the other ones get to know them easier, and it's not really a big problem if there is a flop. Then I still have some that I already know will work. So that means I have 10 pens. They all fit into my lovely pen case that I'm using right now. Ever since I purchased this 10 pen case from Galen Leather at the San Francisco Pen Show, you can see there's cat hair inside here. I bought this at Venice Pens. I've been using this exclusively because I just really like how when I open this pen case, it lays flat on my desk and I can access all of my pens very easily. When you fill your pen case, the only thing that you need to make sure is that if you have a chunker like this, maybe in this slot, then you should put a really thin pen into this slot so the pen case actually closes after. So it's a good fit, but it's a tight fit and you need to wiggle a little in order to make it work. I'm going to switch things around and show you writing samples of all of these and tell you which ink I put in what. Just wanted to show you this amazing setup right here, and I love that I kind of have not just an ink rainbow over here, but I also kind of have a pen bow. I noticed. Let's sort them. How though? Okay, this one, this one, this one, and then we need to go green, blue, blue, purple, and then theoretically have this whole rainbow framed by the black pens. I just love how this looks. So even if none of these combinations work, this is just so much joy. Yeah, I'm changing things up. I am still not sure 100% on how I'm documenting my pens and inks next year, even though I had thought November 2023. Currently inked. I had thought I'd figured it out. I talked it through, and then for some reason, just the other day, it felt like, nah, I don't really like that idea. I've actually bought a Hobonichi A6 to do this next year, but I'm not convinced, and I just don't want to waste a planner that I just don't really feel like the ink shows through here. I'm not sure. I am not sure that this is the right way to go. I still have 2 months left, and I'm pretty sure that people will buy the planner if I'm deciding not to go with it. But for some reason, yeah, the alternative is that I'm actually considering right now is a Cosmo Air Light notebook in A5. So, but that feels really scary to make 1 page per pen and ink combination. Maybe I should do half a page. I don't know. Let me know what you do and how you do it. Maybe it's some inspiration for me. First pen that I have is the Custom 74 in Burgundy with a medium nib. And my first impression is that I just really, really like this pen. I can ink this up with almost any ink that I have. It's also so very soft. And I've been loving the bounce in my Sailor Pro, well, the pen that was loaned to me by my friend. I've been loving the bounce. This is not even comparable, but it's a similar feeling, like it goes down and there is some springiness to it. It's not hard as a nail. So this is Ferris Wheel Press Atlas. This feels so much better than these tiny grids in these notebooks. And there's so much room. I don't have to cram anything in. I can put all the information out there that I want to. Yeah. So maybe that's my answer. Maybe I am just needing the space next year, and then maybe in 2025 I can go back to an A6. Okay, this is the first pen. Second pen I have is my Schon Design Ultim full-size Ultim full-size pen, full-size Ultim. I think that's the way that you would say that, with a Monoc medium nib. I filled it with, look at this, Dominant Industry Earl Grey tea. I thought it was a dry ink. That's at least what I have been told, but not in this pen or nib. So maybe I'm completely off, or it doesn't matter if it's a dry or a wet ink, it will just flow. Could be both. Earl Grey tea. The fun thing about this, and I will show you in just a second. So let's write Schon Design full size in Ultim. And look at this, it's a Monoc medium nib. It's so cool that you can write upside down. I don't even, because this nib is super stiff, but it just feels so nice to write with it. I just want to experiment with this more, and so I wanted to ink it up in November so I can have it with an ink in November, and then when I do the ink vent in December, I have yet another chance to put a different ink in there and experience it again. So I had it inked in September, I have it inked in November, and then I have it inked in December. All right, so this is a Sailor Pro Gear 1911. No, this is a Sailor Pro Gear. And I looked it up what the model number was, and or model name, and it's the Classic Orange Pro Gear. It has a medium fine nib, and this is a bigger nib than on the Pro Gear Slims. It's a 21K nib, and I have a very similar ink in this as I had in October. In October, I had this filled with KWZ Honey, which was a super wet ink, and now I have it filled with, do you see how there is ink pooling down there because it's such a bouncy nib? Now this is Diamine Brandy Snap, and that was part of the Inkvent 2021. I noticed definitely that even though this ink flows okay, it is definitely not as wet as KWC Honey. And the brand is Sailor, just in case you didn't know. And this is classic orange. The question is, do I like it even with a less wet ink? Or is this pen then too dry, not easy to use? All that. That's what I want to explore in November. And to be honest, this pen, even though it's such a bright orange and it's kind of boring when you look at what amazing pens Sailor brings out, it says something about this plain orange pen has my heart now. Maybe it's because it's lived here for so long. Okay, next pen is my Benu Euphoria Gold Coast. This is another Atlas exclusive. I have inked this in the middle of October with an ink that I find to be a really good dupe for Krishna Chennai, which I have talked to you about multiple times after I've used it, because I feel like that is my favorite ink of the year. However, it was not available anywhere, and so by chance I saw Brittany from Carrots and Olives watch this on her channel, and I thought this might be a good dupe for that. And then my friend Marilyn sent me a sample and I tried it out, and I knew exactly that that was it. Teranishi, can you see how it goes down? Teal, Teranishi guitar, gentle green, and the pen is Benu Euphoria Atlas Gold Coast in a medium nib. What I like when it's lined instead of grid, the broad medium nibs. I can actually write big enough so that this actually looks like it's not crammed in there. So I actually still haven't emptied out, where is it now though, the Chennai. And so I just want to give you a little sample. It's not an exact match, but I think it's pretty close and it's good enough for me. I'm still using this 1 or 2 more times, and then I'm going to clean it out. All right, the next pen is my Esterbrook SD in Scarlet. I have now, I think, a quadruple, and I think I'm set. Let's see if there's another SD that will catch my eye in the future, but for now I think I'm good. The nib that is on here is kind of stuck, and I'm not really that mad about it now that I think about it. This is a cursive smooth italic with a left oblique, and let me check if I can show you. If I try and put it straight, you can see that it is a little bit tilted towards the left, and that is so that you can rotate your pen. When you do that, it still writes well. Yeah, I might just, not because I'm too lazy to reach out and have them fix it for me, but because I really like that these pens seal pretty well. And so especially with specialty nibs, I want them to write, and I don't want to struggle with them. So having this on a pen with an inside cap is always good because it seals well. Okay, let me write the ink name. This is another sample that I haven't swatched yet, at least not on my channel. Scribo Verde Mediterraneo. Okay, I don't know what the neighbor is doing, but that sounds interesting. I'm not sure if you can hear it. Somebody is vacuuming. So these inks I just recently swatched and filmed the process, and I decided that instead of putting them away, I should just pick inks from those, even if I haven't shared them on my channel yet, because now they're fresh in my mind. And smooth italic, left oblique, and this has been done by Pen Realm, which is Kirkspear. And yeah, I'm really excited to explore these inks more. This one is one of those as well, and this one in theory too, but after I had swatched it, and you will see those videos in the future. I hope that's okay with you. Okay, that was completely sorted wrong. I tested this, I put this in the pen, I saw how it wrote, and I decided I bought a bottle of that ink the next day. This is another loaner pen, just like the orange Pro Gear. This is another Sailor. This is a Sailor King of Pen, and you can see how massive this is if you put the Pro Gear right next to it. It's just regular black. It has a broad nib. It has a massive nib. And I really like it, to my own surprise. And now I'm thinking, I'm currently on a nose bend. Here you can see the nibs in comparison. I'm considering saving all the money that I'm saving during my nose bend right now to purchase these two pens, maybe, possibly. Maybe I need to save longer than December 31st, but for now, my nose bend is until December 31st. Did I say everything? This is a broad nib. This is also a 21K, and this nib is just massive, and it feels so good when I write with it. It's so comfortable. And so, yeah, I wasn't sure if, well, first of all, is there ever, can you see how this ink dries? Let me write. This is Kayo no Oto, number 13, Saiheki, and it goes down green and dries to this light blue, almost teal color. It's very similar in color family to this Scribo Verde Mediterraneo, but it's really pretty. It's not an ink that I normally gravitate towards because it's so light, but let me show you the swatch card for this one. What made me want to explore this is, first of all, how wet it was, even though it was light. And you can see that it's still not dry, and it lays down a lot of ink. But also, it kind of dries blobby. There's a lot of shading, and this is something that I am actually not so sure that I really like, because it makes these lighter inks very illegible. And so, yeah, I'm exploring this. And again, this I filled because I am going back to the Bay Area in January, and hopefully I'll meet my friend then and either return the pens or purchase. But I want to give myself as much time with these pens with many, many different inks in them, so that I know for sure what I'm getting myself into, especially with a pen like this. If you Google how expensive these are, I think the price of these is similar. And you can't really make that kind of purchase every day. All right, another carryover is this Esterbrook SD in Sea Glass. This is of the SDs is the lightest pen in my opinion. It's very nice. You can see through some of these pieces. That is not happening with, well, actually look here. If you can see this, you can still see the metal inlay for the here, the threads to thread on the barrel. So I was lying, but it's just not as obvious, I think, as in this one. This one has my journaler nib, which is an SD specialty grind, or an Esterbrook specialty grind. This one is the journaler is a specialty grind ground by Gina Solarino. Esterbrook offers, if I'm not mistaken, it offers 4. The journaler, is it called Needlepoint by Kirk Spear? So journaler by Gina Solarino, the Spearpoint by, or not Spearpoint, that is not the right word, the Needlepoint by Kirk Spear, I think it's called Scribe, and I think the Nibmeister is called JJ Lax, or that's his Instagram handle. And then the 4th one is the newest one, is the Techo by CY of Tokyo Station Pens. Okay, let me write what this is. And this is a, as you can see, sheening ink. However, on this paper, which is Rhodia paper, the sheen is not as dominant as on other papers, and so you can see the base color. This is the only pen right now in this lineup where I need to be careful with making breaks while writing, because the ink might dry out on me. And this is a journaler. And I'm just going to put the Instagram handle as well. Or actually, if you put in customnibstudio.com, you'll get to their website. Same with Penrealm. It's Instagram Penrealm or penrealm.com. So yeah, I just really like this glue, as I mentioned multiple times in the last videos. And even though I have used this, there's still quite a lot of ink left. And so I just decided, you know what, I can just carry it over and keep on using it. The next pen in my lineup is second newest pen. It is the Sailor Progress Slim. I really don't know the exact name for it, but it is from the Rain series in the Autumn Drizzle. And it's somehow funny because I also have another Progress Slim that is Autumn Sky. This one is a matte purple and it looks really nice. It feels very different to the touch than these very shiny, smooth acrylics. And what is unusual about this nib is that it is also a 21K, whereas usually the Progress Slims come with 14K nibs. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out if this pen has a space in my lineup, or if one of the Progress Slims has to go. and if yes, which one that would be. But for now, I'm just using it, getting to know it, finding out what I like and what I don't like about it. And the ink that is in here is an ink that I fell in love with when I swatched it. It's just the perfect purple for me, and that is called Watermelon Tender Purple. As it's really visible right now that this fine of a nib is not suited for the bigger line width here. But for instance, the Benu Euphoria that I used earlier, it absolutely is. Can you see how I'm struggling to get bigger words without it feeling scratchy, and it can't really hold up if I write small? It doesn't feel as ungood as it did when I wrote big, but I'm going to adjust Sailor. Maybe I should write slower. Pro, Gear, Slim, Autumn Drizzle, Autumn Trizzle, and this is a medium fine nib as well. I think these Pro Gear Slims only come in medium fine, so not all of them, but this specific one does. And then here is another carryover, the Lamy 2000. I swapped out the nib last month and put in a fine nib. And I had just so much fun. Look at the ink that is going on to this page. It's similar to the Dominant Industry Schon Design pen. I'm just loving this. It's just, I remember several years ago, I did not like when my pens would do this, and now I can't get enough of it. So that's why I left it inked. There is still ink in there, and why not leave it? Diamine. That's one of those things that I think is that's why I'm doing a no spend. I need to slow down with the purchases, because I just, I want to give myself the chance to say, oh, I'm going to leave this ink in here for a little while because I just enjoy it so much without feeling pressured. Oh, those are my own arbitrary rules, but if they stress me, then that's just how it is. So, if I'm not getting more stuff in, at some point, I know all of my pens really well. Maybe not tomorrow, but over the course of time. So yeah, it's been a great impression ever since I switched the nibs, ever since I started using this ink in this pen. And so I'm just going to keep it for now. I think I told you about my first impressions so far. I'm really, maybe it's because I'm also getting to know my pens better. And I already know ahead of time what kind of ink needs to go in a specific pen. So I'm not always having these really big disappointments. But I've been, ever since I did 30 inks 30 days, in October, I was really happy with what I did. This looks really great, like a really great lineup, and I'm looking forward to using all of those inks and pens. And so I'm feeling quite happy with how this is working out for me at the moment. Was that where I was going? Not sure. I recently, 3 days ago, was thinking about maybe getting rid of, I am still getting rid of my desk pens. I need to figure out how to do that. Maybe I'm not going to add a nib to it and just give away the bodies. Not 100% sure, but I am definitely keeping the stub nibs. But I was testing them and I was fully expecting to just confirm that I don't need those anymore. And it was so much fun to use them and write with them that I decided, well, if I like it so much, then I should ink up a pen and use that. Maybe not in my journal because 1.5 stub is really big, but for my letter writing. So may I present to you, oh my God, look how smooth this is. I did not expect this. Didn't have the best experiences with my Lamys and weird inks in the past, but this is definitely telling me that I should be more open to experimenting. This is the last ink that I have yet to use. Well, I haven't written it here and here, but here I am. Maybe it's because it was date 25. One. All the best. When I swatched this ink, then I was like, what the heck is this ink? But I seem to change a little, or have changed, because I love the sheen, love that it's so out there. And on this Rhodia paper, you can actually see the base color, which is cool. So this is my Lamy Al-Star in petrol with a 1.5 stub. And that's all the pens. And yeah, I am really looking forward to using those in November. I will not have a currently inked for December, but I will be back and do a currently inked review for these pens and inks and tell you all about how it went, if I cleaned out a pen because it didn't work, and what I did instead. Yeah, until then, I hope to see you soon. Let me know what you're using in November, and happy journaling. If you need any of those pens, most of them are available from Atlas Stationers, then I would be extremely happy if you used my code. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye.